Zips Basketball with John Groce, presented by Wentz Financial Group, is brought to you by Suma Health. It's your health. Let's own it together. Bud Light, the world's famous light beer. Doubletree by Hilton Akron Fairlawn, proud to be the host hotel of Zips Basketball. By your Akron Canton Bryant Heating and Cooling dealers. The Spaghetti Warehouse, famous for its 15-layer lasagna. And Wentz Financial Group, investment management for your lifetime.
Welcome to week number 1 of University of Akron basketball with head coach John Groce, brought to you all season long by the Wentz Financial Group. Well, if you're a University of Akron basketball fan, you've got to be smiling right now. And coach, you have done a great job in the first 8 games. You're undefeated at home. You're 6-2. And you're heading for Hawaii. It doesn't get much better than that, does it?
Not a whole lot. You're right, Joe. We've gotten off to a pretty good start. Yeah. You know, certainly very grateful for the wins we've had at this point. And even the 2 losses that we've had a chance to learn quite a bit from those, playing against 2 good opponents on the road. You know, I like the progress that we're making, but we still have a long way to go. You know, you've been with this group a long time. Have they exceeded expectations, right about where you thought they would be, or what's your timeline right now? You know, it's interesting, Joe. We try to take it one day at a time the best we can. I know that's challenging. You know, we have standards that we're trying to hit. Our standards are pretty high. The standards I have for the group are pretty high, as well as for individuals, in addition to collectively. So, you know, we're not where we need to be yet. I don't know if necessarily I would say we've exceeded expectations, just because those standards that we have, whether it's offense, defense, whether it's, you know, building the culture the way that we want to build it, you know, that takes a mindset of you've got to value every single day. Yeah. And we've tried to do that. I think our guys have done that for the most part. And then when you do that, you can just kind of let the chips fall and see where it takes you. You know, when you got here, I know there was a lot of games to fill up. And I thought you'd done a great job of filling up the schedule. Some pretty good mid-majors. Very good, and better probably than what people think, quite honestly. Been thrilled with the schedule. It's challenged us. We've been in a lot of 1, 2, 3 possession games at the under 4 to close games, which is invaluable experience, especially for our young team. You know, with the 5 true freshmen playing, it's been great for them to be put in those situations. We're going to talk about some of the individual players a little bit later in the program, but taking a look at the guys that are really the keys for you right now. Been any surprises? I know Utomi has come on strong. DeVivier's a guy that's had big-time experience. Any surprises with that group? Well, there's been a lot of surprises, I think, in a good way when it comes to the development of those guys individually. Right now, collectively, I still think we have a ways to go. We're getting better. But Parrish, you know, has played certainly better as each day has gone by. Sometimes you see that with freshmen. He's gotten a lot of traction. Utomi, as you mentioned, E-Man in a different role. And I think that's a big thing with Utomi and E-Man. And those guys didn't play in every game last year. They played a lot. Neither one of them averaged even double-figure minutes per game. And so this is a different role for them, a different style, a different system. And both guys are really excelling, growing, getting better. I think Ivy's really improved from game 1 through game 8. We're excited about that. Obviously, Malcolm's been invaluable with his experience. Played close to 90-some games, I think, before he put on that Akron jersey. And that's been huge for us. And then all the freshmen, they're freshmen. So they have days, Joe, that are really good. They have days that aren't so good. Sure. We're trying to get them to value the consistency in which they need to play at on a daily basis. You know, bringing a basketball team along and having them peak at the right time, that's tough to do. What's kind of the formula for doing that? You've been doing this a while now. Yeah, obviously you want to play your best in February and March. We talk about that at the outset. We have. Once we talk about that and establish that, I think the way to do it, it's not really a secret. It's more every day value everything that we do, whether it's the weight room, whether it's practice, whether it's academics. Every single day, value everything. Value every possession in all the walks of life that they're going through on a daily basis. When you keep swinging like that, then eventually you start seeing that water boil and guys start getting better. Your team starts getting better. And you hope through honoring that process that by the time you get to February and March, you're playing your best.
You know, there's a lot of Akron fans watching this program all over the country, really. Maybe they're not familiar with your coaching staff. You've been with these guys a while. You brought in a couple new guys, but it seems like it's a pretty good coaching staff you put together.
We have a great group.
Yeah.
We do, with a lot of different experiences. You know, Robbie Pridgeon is from here, been at Robert Morris, where they've been very successful, has been recruiting, coaching, and developing players for some time. You know, Rob Fulford started the program at Huntington Prep and did just a great job making it a national powerhouse. Then went to Missouri, where we saw him quite frequently when I was at Illinois due to that rivalry. And we recruited some of his players at Huntington Prep before he went to Missouri, and just does a great job. Obviously, Dustin's been with me the entire time, and he knows what we're going to do at almost every juncture, which is pretty neat. So that allows us, I think, to bring everyone who's new from a staff perspective and a support staff perspective along a little bit faster. So that's been really, really helpful. Support staff has been great. We've got great people in place administratively. So we've got the right people on the bus. Now we just got to keep pushing that accelerator.
Do you like to break down the staff as far as guys that are recruiters or on-floor guys, or how does that break down with your staff?
In a perfect world, Joe, I want guys that can do a little bit of everything.
Okay.
And so I always see it as my job, no different than the players, to mentor those guys, to lead them, and to help them get to where they want to go. You know, I think our staff is good enough that a lot of the guys on our staff and support staff at some juncture or some point in their careers want to be head coaches. And it's my job to help them. And so everybody's involved in everything, whether that's scheduling, recruiting, program growth and development, you know, both internally and externally, scouting every third opponent, in particular with the 3 assistant coaches, position group development, core groups. You know, Robbie Pridgeon has our wings, Rob Fulford has our guards, Dustin has our front court. I want those guys to taste a little bit of everything so that they're well-rounded. Well,
it's been very successful. The Zips right now at 6-2, getting ready to head out to Honolulu, Hawaii. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have our weekly feature on John Groce basketball right after this.
The difference with Wentz Financial Group is that we do not have a cookie-cutter answer to any of our clients' needs. Every day is completely different in the market, and every client situation is unique. We value the opportunity and responsibility to manage the hopes and dreams of our 3,000 customers nationwide.
Come see the difference Wentz Financial Group can make for your financial future. Wentz Financial Group. Investment management for your lifetime.
I imagine everyone to be my mother, my father.
Truly give of yourself, to give of your heart.
I just treat them like I would want to be treated.
To feel like they're a welcome guest of ours.
Being genuine, by showing compassion for others.
By going above and beyond.
You're not just there as a provider, but there to help them on a personal level.
With every patient, every day, Summa Health delivers personal, life-changing care.
Well, it's a new era in University of Akron basketball with head coach John Groce and his staff coming in. Let's see how the staff right now is changing the culture of Zip basketball.
Well, I think this was a little different than a scenario like you are inheriting a program that has done a really good job of winning. You know, Coach Dan Brott and his staff did a great job of already building that tradition. So recruiting, you're not having to sell a rebuild. You're selling on a program that traditionally has been a winning program. And so it made recruiting a little easier. We're not going in saying that we're going to do this, we're going to do that. It's about building upon the brand that was already built and how we can enhance it and kind of move it forward. But the old staff did an unbelievable job of creating a winning culture, and we look forward to building on what they had already built here.
It was a big change, obviously. Basically, we eat different, we work different, we sleep different, so it was like a 360 change. He cares about how we operate off the court, so that's real different. And on the court, we go hard, we run a lot, so all that.
I mean, I think it's easy to adapt to because I grew up just wanting to be a winner, and that's something I want to do at all times. So just wanting to go out and win every time, that's easy to adapt to.
Just a new faces, just getting everybody here, getting acclimated to the new guys, you know, just building the family again. And I feel like it's turned out for the better. I enjoy it. I love the new culture here. I love what the new coaches are bringing. Yeah, I can't wait for the next few years.
The changes between this year and the previous years, I would say probably my first 2 years coming in as an underclassman, I was learning a lot, and you know, I was in that process, and now I'm a little older. I just try to be more of a leader. I'm still trying to learn every day, learn more stuff, and you know, Coach doing a good job of like being on me about that. But I think the changes that the way I approach things is me being more of a leader now than, you know, being an underclassman in the past few years, and I think that's helping me as a player and as a person on and off the court.
Yeah, I think the guys buying into what we're doing. You know, Coach Groce is very detail-oriented. It goes not only in our staff meetings, but it carries over to the floor. And so our guys we're getting a lot of repetition at a lot of different things, and I think we do a good job of just the little things.
The coach definitely carries on with Groce, and him is a lot about attitude and effort. He wants to win, obviously, but if we're like not playing hard and we win, he's going to get honest about it. So as long as we're playing hard and have a good attitude and winning, that's Groce. Attitude, effort, and winning.
Coach, I don't want to put any words in your mouth, but I think one of the reasons you came to Akron is because of the great history of this basketball program. Things are pretty well in place.
There's no question. I thought certainly when the job came open, one of the exciting things for me was having knowledge, having been in the league before, of what a great job that Keith and his staff had done over the last 10 to 15 years of developing a winning culture. You know, there was that tradition there, you know, as you just heard Coach Fulford explain and say. So that part was foundational. And then from there, obviously, people do things different ways. There's different ways to skin a cat, and you know, there'll be changes and things that Keith might do differently than me or vice versa. But that winning, certainly as a foundation, was here prior, and we're very grateful for that.
Well, they're winning right now with the record of 6-2. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to have Coach Groce talk about some of the key players in the rotation for the Zips right after this.
At the Wentz Financial Group, listening to clients, understanding their needs, evaluating their risk tolerance, and finding solutions to help them meet their goals is our ultimate responsibility. Because at the end of the day, we treat every client like their family and manage every dollar like it's ours.
Come see the difference Wentz Financial Group can make for your financial future. Wentz Financial Group. Investment management for your lifetime.
Our strength is our legacy.
Boundless innovation, fueled by our tradition.
At the University of Akron, our path forward is here and now.
Every day, we push ourselves to do what others won't. Akron raises champions.
Akron nurtures genius.
Because just when you think we're finished,
we're just getting started.
That's what makes us
the University of Akron.
Okay, welcome back to week number 1 of University of Akron basketball with head coach John Groce. And coach, when you got here, you had some roster spots to fill. Take us through that process, because the players you brought in have been very impressive. I know you have 3 great ones sitting out. We'll talk about that later, but tell us about the process of kind of replenishing the roster.
It was interesting, to be honest with you. It couldn't have worked out any better, Joe. You know, when we started, we did have a lot of roster spots to fill, and it was like drinking water out of a fire hose, you know, in terms of us traveling, kids coming to campus, phone calls, any type of correspondence that we could do, certainly within NCAA rules in terms of social media, text, everything we could do to communicate and develop relationships very quickly with the young men that we ended up obviously signing. And it was really, the assistants did a great job. I mean, they really did. They got us involved very quickly, and we had opportunity. You know, kids love opportunity. Sure they do. They saw that. So, you know, right now we're playing a 9-man rotation. 5 of the guys who are playing are true freshmen. And they're getting invaluable experience. They're getting better, as we talked about at the outset, at the beginning of the show. And those guys are doing a great job for us. You know, Cotton has played invaluable minutes for us at the 1 and the 2. Torrey Patton's a wing player for us that's done a great job. Eric Parrish is really coming along. As we mentioned earlier, I really like his progress, and I think he's got a chance to be a very good player. We've gotten good minutes out of Kostelac and Sales, and we're going to need that because we need size up front. So the 5 freshmen have really grown quite a bit. Biggest buzzword, as we mentioned earlier, is consistency that we're looking for from those 5 guys, and we'll get them there. Our older guys include Malcolm, the 5th-year transfer, as we said earlier, who's played a ton of minutes previously. His experience has been invaluable. He's been very consistent with his effort. He's been as good defensively on the ball, Joe, as anyone I've coached in my head coaching tenure or career. And that really adds a great dimension to our defense. You can put him on somebody, and he can keep the ball in front regardless of who that is. So that part's been a real plus. And then Ivy, Utomi, and E-Man have continued to grow, continued to get better, and we're going to need all of them.
You're right. Well, let's take a look at some of these players that have kind of developed into that 9-man rotation that Coach Groce is talking about, and maybe you can talk about some of the guys we're going to see. This is Daniel Utomi, and what a great first year as a starter he has had, Coach.
Phenomenal. And obviously Daniel's strength is his versatility, both inside and out, his ability to defend, and his ability to rebound. We've really challenged him in that area, Joe, and per minute played, his numbers are up, rebounding certainly from last year.
He has the potential to be one of the best shooters in the conference, I think.
Yeah, well, he is right now statistically. He certainly had flashes of that last year, as you know. And we have high expectations for him at both ends of the floor. And I think he has a chance to certainly be one of the better players in our league this season and moving forward.
Did you know much about him, Coach, when you got here, or has he been kind of a surprise to you a little bit?
Well, I mean, the first conversation I had with him really was about changing his body. And Daniel did just a great job of that from a conditioning perspective, body comp perspective, his approach in the weight room, his approach with skill instruction, getting extra shots up. Daniel's a worker, and everything that comes to Daniel right now, he's earned. And certainly very, very proud of the efforts that he's made to really improve as a player, as a person, as a student. Daniel's a worker, and I tell him all the time there's no substitute for hard work.
There's Emmanuel Ojikapoki, and he's another Texan. I didn't realize how great a high school basketball state Texas was. There's some players coming out of there.
Well, it's certainly been good to us right now, that's for sure. We're glad to have, all those guys. And, E-Man in particular, the last 3 to 4 games has started to make an impact on the offensive end, Joe. We all knew that he could make an impact with his shot blocking per minute played on the defensive end, but I think what he's added now is he's become a threat for us offensively and has done just a great job impacting the game on the backboard as well.
Here's another Texan, Parrish, who is only a freshman eligibility-wise.
Yeah, he's been one of those guys that we talked about surprises, and that's probably maybe an unfair word, but he has become a better player very quickly. And you see that sometimes with freshmen as they start to get more reps, more games, more practices under their belt. Certainly Parrish has been one of those guys for us, and a guy, again, that's great on the glass, is great slashing, driving, cutting, and is really improving at a rapid rate.
Of course, you got Jaden Sales and Jamond Ivy, a couple guys. Sales coming new into the program, but Ivy was a key component last year.
Jamond has really grown a lot over the 8 months that we've had the job, off the court, on the court, wants to be really good. Is not a guy that's not afraid to take responsibility, which I really admire that. He wants to improve. All the time we'll talk at different times about areas of improvement. He's not afraid to have those discussions because he wants to be really, really good. He wants our team to be very good.
Exactly. I'll tell you what, it's been fun taking a look at those players. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to have the guys that's really coming on. The stock is rising. We're going to talk about that right now, Coach, because we mentioned Pokemon, Emmanuel Ojikapoki. He is really coming on. He's got 19 blocks in 8 games. He had 13 against Marshall, 24 against Fort Wayne, 15 against Appalachian State. He's coming on strong.
He is, and our guys are doing a great job of recognizing his sweet spots, where to get him the ball so that he can finish. And it's really important because we have a good shooting team. Our 4 perimeters that play for us do a good job of moving the ball. But what happened in a couple games early on is they would take his man and play a man and a half on some of our primary scores. So we knew the next step for us offensively was to make sure that E-Man was impactful other than just the offensive glass. And he has been, and it's made a big difference for us.
He has been really playing well of late. We're going to take a break. When you come back, we'll announce our Player of the Week, and Coach Groce will talk about that right after this.
Ever wonder what's in a beer? If it's a Bud Light, it's 4 essential ingredients: barley, rice, water, and hops. Here's to the beer you can always count on, brewed to be America's favorite light lager.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family warm this winter,
here, let me show you how this works.
It takes Bryant.
Bryant, whatever it takes.
It takes Air Comfort to keep your home comfortable this winter. Find us at aircomfortohio.com.
Well, this week's Player of the Week is somebody we've talked to a lot today, and we're going to talk about him again right now. That is Daniel Utomi out of Westside High School in Houston, Texas. This guy's a gym rat, Coach. You talked to me yesterday. He wants to come in every day and take shots, doesn't he?
Every day. He doesn't want to take a day off, and sometimes we have to convince him that that's the best thing for his body and his game. But he's a worker, as we said earlier. I mean, that's the best compliment I can certainly give him. Everything that's happening to him right now, he's earned, whether it's weight room, whether it's getting in the gym and getting extra shots, his approach to practice, being willing to listen and learn from film because he wants to be really good, totally changed his body, and has really become certainly one of the better players in our league.
Exactly. I know coaches are always on the hot seat, but we're going to put players on the hot seat, brought to you each week by Bryant Heating and Cooling. And our first player on the hot seat this week is Malcolm DeVivier. Let's hear what he has to say.
Is your celebrity crush?
Rihanna.
Who is the biggest trash talker on the team?
Me.
Hardest workout activity?
Sprints.
Water park or amusement park?
Water park.
Would you rather have Bugs Bunny or Air Bud off the bench?
Bugs Bunny.
Favorite sport drink flavor?
Blue.
In your opinion, who is the GOAT?
Michael Jordan.
Who would win an arm wrestling competition on the team?
Oh, me.
Android or iPhone?
iPhone.
Do you have a pre-game ritual?
No.
Favorite pizza topping?
Chicken.
Soda or pop?
Pop.
Favorite spot on campus?
Student union.
Ketchup, mustard, or onion?
Ketchup.
Favorite post-game meal?
Chicken Alfredo.
I'll tell you what, Coach, it's going to be fun all season long. These guys are on the hot spot.
It is going to be interesting. I learn a lot just listening myself, Joe.
Exactly. Hey, the Zips are going to Hawaii. We're coming back with a scouting report on Southern Cal, the Trojans, right after this.
I trust them. I trust them with my life.
I don't know if I would be here today without all of their help and their support.
They were out of this world fabulous.
They treated me like I was a guest more than a patient.
The caregivers really are the true rock stars, aren't they?
Every patient deserves and should have the care that I'm getting at Summa.
I'm cancer-free because of them.
With every patient, every day, Summa Health delivers personal, life-changing care.
The difference with Wentz Financial Group is that we do not have a cookie-cutter answer to any of our clients' needs. Every day is completely different in the market, and every client situation is unique. We value the opportunity and responsibility to manage the hopes and dreams of our 3,000 customers nationwide.
Come see the difference Wentz Financial Group can make for your financial future. Wentz Financial Group. Investment management for your lifetime.
Well, every week the Scouting Report is brought to you by Spaghetti Warehouse. And Coach, we're getting out of this cold weather and heading to Honolulu, Hawaii, and the Southern California Trojans are waiting for you. What can you tell us about the Trojans?
They're big, Joe.
Yes.
They're huge. At 3, 4, and 5, they'll be as big a team as you'll see. You know, obviously I'm concerned about their size. They'll be very well coached. Great challenge for us. really excited about playing 3 games in 4 days.
Of course,
I think we're going to learn a lot.
Yeah, it's an 8-team field. We don't know who are going to play the second game, either Princeton or Middle Tennessee. But, boy, that's a great challenge with USC right off the get-go.
Great challenge. The whole tournament is filled with really good basketball teams, well-coached teams, good players. And we're excited to head to Hawaii and take on that challenge. I think we'll learn a lot about our team.
Exactly. Looking forward to getting out there. Coach, great job in week number 1. We'll see you for, how about 11 more of these? How's that sound?
That sounds good. Thank you, Joe. Happy holidays.
There you go. You too. For head coach John Groce, I'm Joe Dunn. Thanks for watching University of Akron basketball. And always remember, go Zips.
Zips Basketball with John Groce, presented by Wentz Financial Group, was brought to you by Summa Health. It's your health. Let's own it together. Bud Light, the world's famous light beer. Doubletree by Hilton Akron Fairlawn, proud to be the host hotel of Zips Basketball. By your Akron Canton Bryan Heating and Cooling dealers. The Spaghetti Warehouse, famous for its 15-layer lasagna. And Wentz Financial Group, investment management for your lifetime.